We're so over. We need a new word for over. Adjectives fail me, such as lackluster and anticlimactic. Disappointing is the thorough feeling in my soul. I can't call the story unfinished when it never should have been told. We can breathe a sigh of relief that we won't ever have to watch it again. Never have to watch it again. I think they pulled the plug because they knew ain't nobody rerunning it. We're going to be shunning it. Carrie Bradshaw, after all that, ends up alone. Her fear from several episodes of Good Seasons Past. Good. Kim Cattrall is somewhere cackling at the failure and the unceremonious dumping of the show. Oh, she's been praying and sticking pins in her Sarah Jessica voodoo for a minute. I will not be bullied on this show. Good, there's no more show. They can finally stop whining about you. Because everybody, Samantha, oh my God, Samantha, Phaedra. It gets old. Kenya. At least y'all know, I don't think Kenya coming back. Once you show up to a workplace with a sexually explicit photo of a coworker, I just don't know who. Anyway, see, that's how interesting the finale was. Brady's baby mama ain't shit. Basically, he got a baby daddy pregnant. The state's gonna raise that, but Miranda's gonna raise that baby. Because the state gonna take it. If I was the state, I'd take it. But Miranda and her Les are doing well. Harry got hard again. I'm happy for Charlotte. I thought he was gonna go in the kitchen when he said I'm hard. I thought he was gonna say I'm having a heart attack. I thought we was gonna have another fume. Charlotte would have been interesting as a widow. Carrie was insufferable. LTW doesn't have an affair like she would. Mario and his man seemed to be okay after a pie in the face, but that storyline was trite, dry, and where the hell is all of Stanford's money? This has been 3 years of plot holes and quota ethnic hiring and quota LGBT hiring. I mean, my God. Epcot, the turds floating up. Y'all could have kept it, froze it, freezer burn it, and thrown it away. I'm grateful it was only 30 minutes because that's all it needed. You weren't doing any good writing. You said, fuck it, let AI finish this shit. That's what you did. Your pink toe said, let AI finish it. And that's why the rumor has it is Sarah Jessica Parker trying to pick up a reboot somewhere and is pissed with the way it went after all the money she made HBO for it to just end like that. And everybody sees that this was the season, not the series finale. Carrie ends up alone real after all that. I mean, that the thing is she never was shit. So it's what she get. Big was always going to be unavailable for your ass. God tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. So God said, all right, I'll show you fat meat is motherfucking greasy, bitch. And then no self-respect Aiden coming in, fucking up after Big's leftovers like vulture cock. And he looked like a bird too, old beak ass. And so he had the vulture cock plot line. That didn't work. You know what? The real ending should have been Sarah Jessica gets murdered herself by one of them dirty John men. Because that's exactly what a stupid heifer like that would end up with when she got a few coins in her pocket. That's how she would end up in a Lifetime murder mystery. And the guy would get away with him and Big's coins. That would be the alpha vulture cock. That's how they should have ended it. Give us a Mary Higgins clock. I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, except I'm grateful that it's done. I hope you enjoyed yourself, the viewer. I hope you had fun. I mean, they could have just kept putting them in them clown-ass outfits and we could have kept cackling. But there was no substance, in the words of Shitty O'Nostril. There was no substance. It was giving Brandy Maxine, Brown Gel Queen. The show really tells us something unintentional about, I guess, being cool at any phase in life. There is a point where you peak. And so don't be too cool. So you always have a new season to flower and blossom into, rather than be like Carrie, a lily dying on the vine. I just feel like we never saw a grown, fully actualized woman happy to settle into her own life and having rich adventures with her friends. This was the second she got off that coffin cock, she was looking for new dick, old dick, vulture dick, any dick, downstairs dick. Penis, 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 penis. And that's why we loved Samantha. And that's why in the beginning we loved Seema, because that was a successful, self-actualized woman who enjoyed sex and men along with the rest of us. Don't get me wrong, I love men. But had a rich, full life outside of sex where that's what attracted men, her own inner light. And we watched Seema go from a woman who was forced to stand into a man's shadow to a woman who was afraid of her own. Let me say that one again. We watched Seema go from a strong woman forced to stand in a man's shadow at her job to a woman who became afraid of her own shadow with, do I want to get married? I dreamed of this since I was a little girl, but I was I'm like, girl, I ain't even going to say nothing. The character was just so bad. Your acting was good. I'm not going to talk about your acting. But the writing, the wardrobe kind of got off. You came in as a bad big, oh Lord, they Game of Thrones. They Game of Thrones. I, as someone who is in the stage of life that they were in when the original show was ending, was looking forward to seeing, okay, let's see, that 50 plus, almost 60, but still fit and fabulous. Well, what are y'all doing? This? Michael Patrick King. Somebody asked, have you ever met a person? Not since 1994. Not since 1994. I will say this has taught me as an artist to always stay in classes and keep growing so that I don't calcify in, the 90s, in 1998. Like my young years are calcified there, but I want to be malleable and pliable enough to stretch and change so that I can write for people as they've grown. Because this was just, everything about this show was so shoehorned. So shoehorned. And the fact that Sarah Jessica, as an executive producer, you killed Carrie Bradshaw. You, single white female, you killed her. You wanted to walk in her shoes. Well, guess what? You don't need to archive them no more. Put them Manolos, them old Nolos on and walk around and look like Blanche Devereaux, dated in a Papagallo pump. I would say Carrie's way of life and man-centric thinking is outdated and has gone the way of the dinosaur. It is fossilized, like Big. And I think that's why she decided to write some historical fiction, because she wanted to go back to when her way of life was apropos and de rigueur. And now she doesn't know what to do in this strange new world. When for the past 50 years, she's been trying to catch a man. She's like, well, shot and thrown all that puss and ain't got shit to show. I ain't got nothing good to say. There's no reason to. There's no reason to get on here and lie. The shit was bad. So tell a kin, tell a friend, tell that heifer you hate. She needs to know.